Hello. Long time no talk. I am self-quarantining due to coronavirus, and so I thought it might be a good time to do some additional reviews that I have been meaning to do for a while. This one is a comparison of the Lily Cup size A, this fella, and size B, this one. In case you're looking for a menstrual cup and one of these might be the right fit for you. I'm not going to go over the regular specs. You can find those online and on services like putacupinit.com, but I wanted to talk with you a little bit about my personal experience using these and my reason for choosing the Lily Cup. So I have used a menstrual cup and other methods over many years. Really love using menstrual cups for a variety of different reasons. They're excellent environmentally. They, while an upfront investment in cost, ultimately are way more cost effective than tampons or pads, and they're comfortable and they're cool for swimming. So I really, really love these, especially when traveling. When I was traveling to East Asia when I was younger, they never had tampons, and so I would have to bring tampons or use pads that I got in the shops. So when I moved to using menstrual cups, it really lowered the amount that I had to pack with me if I was anticipating that my period was happening. And I have actually used these particular menstrual cups while camping as well, and it's been a really effective option. So I love them. With that said, I used the Diva Cup brand for several years and found that I didn't really like the unsightly staining that happened because of the clear cup, and I also didn't like the markings on the inside of the cup and the way that the little pinprick holes around the edge started to accumulate blood stain. So I was looking for another option. I personally have a high cervix, and the Lily Cup, which is made by the Intimina, a Swedish brand, is geared towards folks with high cervixes. The size A is supposed to be for 30 and under or having not had any kids, and then the size B is for 30 and above or having had kids. And so, since I just turned 30, I was confused about which cup size to get. Now, I really appreciate and will link below one of the reviews posted on YouTube in which the individual said she had a copper IUD, had really heavy periods, and really appreciated using the size B cup because of its higher volume. In addition to that, put a cup in it said to go with a larger cup if you're not sure about the size, because the walls of the vagina are elastic and they can usually accommodate for a larger cup. So I just wanted to show the two side by side. So this, I'm going to try to tip them to the same angle. Okay, so you can kind of see, I really thought when I was looking at them online it wasn't such a huge difference, but it kind of really is. Putting them like, yeah, and you can tell the circumference of the one on the right is a lot larger than the one on the left. It does hold a substantial larger amount of volume than the size A Lily Cup. And as a person who, I'm 30 and I've never given birth, I am able to wear both of them. I bought this one first, and I really do like it for my heavy period days, but I use this one on my lighter period days. The reason why I decided to purchase the size A, even though I owned the size B and it did work for me, was that I have a lot of trouble getting this to suction inside of me. So one of the reasons for that is probably just a side effect of one of the things that I really enjoy about the Lily Cup, and that's that there are no holes around the rim. This is the only menstrual cup I've been able to find that does that. So, as other people have said, this is a really wonderful, high quality silicone. It's almost like a skin-like texture. And what I love about it is that it has reinforcement where it needs to have reinforcement and not where it doesn't. So even though it's a very soft cup, as somebody, I have a pretty strong pelvic floor, I don't have problems with leakage with these. However, I do have some trouble getting it to pop open within me, so especially with this one. So I use the punch down fold, which is like this. If you look online, they'll say you can roll it up and do something like this. But what I find is, well, that's super awkward because then you have this roll that has to unravel inside of you, and I have problems with that. So I typically do a punch down fold, and then I have to do something really awkward in order to get it inside of me. Sorry, I'm struggling because this is one-handed. So you punch it down and make this entry point as narrow as possible, and then direct this towards your butt. So vagina part will be here, butt part will be over there. And what I need to do with this large one, simply because the girth is larger, is I put this in just maybe an inch or two inside of my vaginal opening, and then I make sure it pops open. At that point, I scoot it up inside of me and do almost like a plunging motion, which, trust me, feels awkward AF. But if you think about the fact that this has a much larger volume and you really only have to empty it maybe every, well, it depends on your flow, but for me, if I put it in before I go to work, I don't have to empty it out until after my workday is over. So that's pretty awesome. So even though I'd have to do kind of an awkward maneuver to make this one work, I really do like it for those heavy flow days. In addition to that, I don't know if it's just the quality of the silicone or if it's the color in addition, but I've never had any problems whatsoever with blood staining on this, and I really love that. So quick run through of the anatomy of this. So it's that really, really soft, thin silicone, and then you'll notice there's a little more resistance here, and that's because there's a supportive rib here, and also on this back side. So on these two sides, there's a supportive rib where you can see that I'm pinching. And you might be able to see that just a little bit there. Yep, you can see a little bit reflecting there. That's a bare little amount of reinforcement, and I think that's just genius. And then right around here, because there's that sort of fold over that also stops the blood from flowing out, it also supports this ring part, which is what will keep your menstrual cup sealed against you. Then there's this little pour out section. I do actually find that helpful. And there's some little ridges here that allow you, so you'll feel that this is empty here, which makes it easier to grip and pull out of you. But then it's not, the hole ends about here, and then it's just straight up firm silicone, and that makes the tip stronger to be able to push up inside of you. In addition to that, I've seen some bloggers online say that if they have a slightly less high cervix, you can actually trim it up to even here and be able to have a cup that accommodates for a slightly lower cervix level. So yeah, here's the size B, and then here's the size A. We know what, having it here in person, it feels substantially slimmer, and you'll see sort of the curve is like, whereas this one is like, shoop. It's easier to insert, and it's a lot easier to pop open for me. So I really appreciate this in lighter times of my cycle, or one of the things that I love about menstrual cups. And in addition, one of the reasons why I feel that the collapsible menstrual cups are kind of a dumb idea, I guess maybe I'll go into that a little bit, is that I like to put this in proactively. So if I feel like my period might be coming on, or it's about that time, I use the application Clue to track my cycle, then I might just put this in. And usually if you have enough natural lubrication, you should be able to insert one even before your period starts. Or if you don't have enough natural lubrication, you can always just use a little bit of water-based lube to insert it, but works exactly the same, pinch and fold, but it's just a little less material and a lot easier to get in. A little critique I have of the Intimina brand in general is that it's very much that kind of feminine aesthetic. I can see that this is sort of modeled to look like a lily, the flower, which I get that, but a lot of feminine care products they're feminine. They're in these pinks, and if you are an individual who doesn't maybe identify as female or as feminine, but still has a vagina, still has to use products like this, that can be triggering or make it feel like this product isn't the right fit for you. But with that said, I really think this is a unique product on the market. I haven't found anything like it. It's definitely been tested on people who have vaginas. It's definitely thoughtfully designed. Those ribs are really unique. The fact that it doesn't have those little pinprick holes around it, sure, that makes it a little bit harder for it to pop open, because the point of those holes is not actually it can be to help break the suction, but it also helps to introduce air into the inside of the menstrual cup when it is folded up, which incites it to unfold a little bit more easily inside of you. But I personally love the fact that there are no holes to clean here. It makes it, I feel like a product that could really last a lifetime for me. In addition to that, super, super easy to keep clean, super easy to boil. Oh, and don't let me forget, there are two little bags that come with them. They're the same color, which is a little bit of a bummer for me because then I have to look in to tell them apart. But I like that they're kind of this, they're a slick synthetic, almost swimsuit-like fabric. So what I've done is just made sure to keep them clean on the inside, and I use these as protective sleeves. So when I have boiled these, I just put them upside down inside of those swimsuit fabric cases and hang them up to dry, and that's been really helpful. Let's see, what else? Okay, the compact ones I find to be not as good as these ones. I've never used them personally because I know how much jostling it takes to put a menstrual cup inside of you, and especially when I'm using that kind of push-up method, you wouldn't be able to do that very effectively with a collapsing menstrual cup without actually collapsing the cup while trying to get it inside of you. I think simply because the case is so rare that you would be caught without your menstrual goods, I think these are a much more effective option than the Lily Cup Compact. I think that's everything. I love these. I think they're a really fantastic menstrual cup option for those with the high cervix. They're high quality silicone, really have lasted me. I've had them for several months and used them each of these through at least 2 cycles. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this will be helpful for you. Take care.